Hey there, and welcome to this explainer. Look, if you live in an older house, you already know the charm and character are just absolutely undeniable. But behind those beautiful historic walls, well, there's a totally different, much more practical story playing out. Today, we're diving into the fascinating, kind of hidden dynamics of aging plumbing systems and older properties. We're going to uncover exactly how decades-old pipe materials, aging fixtures, and shifting water pressure shape the overall health of a home, all backed by real-world data and service reports from established communities.
So here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the predictable patterns of aging pipes. Then we'll jump into 3 real-world case studies from the Chicago North Shore, Winnetka, Highland Park, and Glencoe. Finally, we'll wrap up with a universal checklist of warning signs you can actually look for today. Let's get right into it.
All right, Section 1, Patterns in Older Plumbing. We're talking about the predictable nature of wear and tear.
This quote right here, it really hits the nail on the head. Catastrophic water damage is almost never a sudden out-of-the-blue surprise. No way. Instead, these systems tend to develop a recognizable pattern. A major catastrophe is usually just the final act of decades-old materials, aging valves, and shifting water pressure that have been dropping hints for months, maybe even years. It's like a giant puzzle. Once you learn to read the pattern of how these materials degrade, you can literally intercept the damage before it ruins your day.
Moving on to Section 2, Winnetka drains and pressure. Let's look at the slow constriction of flow.
We've all been here, right? You notice a slow-draining tub or sink, and you probably just ignore it, or maybe you try to fix it with a quick chemical pour, crossing your fingers it magically goes away. But well, it doesn't. Eventually, it escalates into weird gurgling sounds or even occasional backups into your sinks and tubs. Why is this happening? The root cause is almost always corrosion. It's slowly and relentlessly narrowing the flow area from the inside out. It's a gradual squeeze, not a sudden roadblock, which is exactly why the symptoms tend to just sneak up on you over time.
And the pattern goes way beyond just drains. We're talking persistent leaks and crazy water pressure swings. It's so easy to dismiss a tiny leak around an old shutoff valve as just minor seepage. But trust me, that minor seepage doesn't stay minor for long. It silently leads to really expensive, hidden water damage to your cabinets, floors, and walls. Oh, and if you ever experience sudden pressure drops at specific times of the day, huge red flag. That is a massive clue pointing straight to failing valves or internal gunk buildup that's actually messing with the performance of your entire house, not just one fussy tap.
Up next, Section 3, Highland Park water heaters. We're diving into appliance aging and consistency problems.
Okay, so the real trick here is categorizing the issue, because the symptom is practically screaming the solution at you. Say your shower runs cold way too fast, or the temperature is just all over the place. That usually means your water heater's aging out, the heating elements are failing, or you've got heavy sediment buildup killing the efficiency. On the flip side, if you've got dripping faucets or a toilet that literally will not stop running, you're probably looking at worn-out seals. Super fixable, but an absolute stealth drain on your utility bill if you ignore them. And lastly, any weird colors or smells in your hot water? That points directly to internal corrosion or stirred-up sediment. Nailing down that exact root cause is absolutely key to solving it.
Let's hit Section 4, Glencoe sewers and leaks, structural blockages, and hidden deterioration. Have you ever had a kitchen sink that just keeps clogging in the exact same spot? Or maybe toilet backups that keep happening no matter how many times you clear them? Yeah, in older homes, those aren't just stubborn clogs. They're usually waving a giant red flag about a much broader line problem, rather than just one annoying fixture. The data clearly shows that these kinds of recurring nightmares are frequently caused by tree roots literally breaking their way into the lines, old pipe joints losing their integrity, or just the sheer vulnerability of incredibly long pipe runs stretching out to the street.
And there is a shockingly predictable progression to how a tiny, seemingly harmless corroded fitting turns into a massive, hidden structural problem. Step 1, your supply line fittings start to deteriorate from ongoing corrosion. Simple enough. But then comes Step 2. That deterioration turns into hidden seepage, eventually creating damp spots behind your walls or under your floors. Because you can't easily see it early on, we hit Step 3, the accumulation of humidity, musty odors, water stains, and condensation popping up around your basement mechanicals. It is literally a step-by-step roadmap of how ignored pipage turns into structural decay. Periodic checks, especially near water heaters, are really the only way to break this chain.
Which brings us to our final stop, Section 5, Universal Warning Signs. What to watch for and exactly when to act. All right, here is your rapid-fire checklist of early warning signs that predict much bigger issues. Watch out for recurring slow drains, frequent toilet running, water heaters that have basically aged past their expected lifespans, any brand new odors or discoloration in your water supply, and honestly, the biggest one, any signs of dampness around valves, under sinks, or near basement plumbing. The golden rule here is super simple. Address these persistent warning signs sooner rather than later. When a clog repeats or a leak indicator keeps returning, it is time to act. A licensed plumber can figure out if the root cause is just a simple fixture or a broader line that needs a highly targeted repair.
So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Getting a proactive plumbing evaluation can actually catch these hidden structural leaks way before they tear through your drywall and your savings account. The patterns of decay are entirely predictable if you just know what to look for. So ask yourself, when was your last proactive plumbing evaluation? Because behind those beautiful walls, the clock is always ticking. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and as always, stay curious.